Welcome to Senior Here, where you come for all of your media needs. My name is Ray.
It's your boy Nikki Tay Tay.
And today, we are reviewing Bumblebee.
Transform! Directed by Travis Knight and starring Haley Steinfeld and John Cena. The Transformers are back. Well, really just two of them, Bumblebee and Optimus. But they didn't bring Michael Bay this time, thank goodness, because that franchise was not going anywhere. I mean, from Shia LaBeouf to Mark Wahlberg, they were, at the pyramids with the racist robots, and then they went to the moon, I think. They had knights. We don't know. But Bumblebee is here in this reboot prequel.
Yep.
It's a pre-boot. or a requel.
Not the only one this year either, right?
Not the only one this year. This is a growing theme to reboot and start over all at the same time. Let's go way back, back in the time. But no, we get Bumblebee and his origin story. We get to see the fall of Cybertron only for a few minutes, and then we get to see how Bumblebee lost his voice box. For all of you who were wondering in the last movies.
Now this franchise is starting to feel like the Spider-Man franchise.
Oh.
Let me tell you what I mean by that. We have 3 movies, just like we had 3 movies before. First one being great.
I think they have more than 3 though.
Not the first Spider-Man.
Transformers.
Yeah, they did. They have more, but let's just say 3.
Okay.
That's the only one we care about. 3. Then they rebooted it, snap that out.
All right.
Garfield come in. You only get 2 Garfield. Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, I see where you're going.
Yeah, I think Mark Wahlberg only got 1, or did he get 2?
He got 2.
He got 2 too. We done with 2. John Cena. It's your turn, baby.
No, it ain't.
It's your turn.
I couldn't see him for the first hour and a half.
Now this is nothing like Homecoming. they didn't do that. They didn't actually make a really good movie like Homecoming was.
Oh, I would say they did.
This movie needs to reboot for a 4th time.
Wow.
They need to go ahead and ditch the human carcass. Let's get rid of them, because they're not doing this movie any favors. None of the humans in any of the Transformers movies, outside of maybe the first 1 or 2 for some, they're not doing it. I need to get back to Cybertron. For those who do watch this movie, Cybertron was one of the highlights of the movie.
They don't.
So if you give me 90 minutes of Cybertron and build the characters up like they tried to do in this movie with Bumblebee, build more characters up, more Transformers up, then maybe I might be more for this movie. But the human element to me is holding back the robotics of this movie.
I definitely want to say kudos to Travis Knight for doing something that Michael Bay has never been able to do. And that is doing something really well without explosions. So congrats, Travis. You did good. We had a few explosions, but nothing like Michael Bay. And like my co-host here said, making us care about the Autobots. I did care a little bit about Bumblebee, but let's flesh out more. Let's understand more of these Autobots. Like you say, the human element is kind of holding them back, but it is also the only way that we can feel a bit of emotion. Right, seeing that connection with the girl and Bumblebee helps you care for the Autobots more than just your regular old jalopy or station wagon.
No idea where he came from?
No idea.
Well.
And I agree with you, Nick. Haley did a good job in this movie. I don't want to take anything away from her. She actually did pretty good. I actually did care about her character, even though the story was kind of flat and very slow, very, very slow for an action movie. But I actually did care about Haley. She did a good job. Bumblebee as well. But like I said, outside of those 2, John Cena didn't cut it. And nor did really anybody else stand out in this movie. It wasn't terrible acting, but it wasn't anything that's going to make me say, I can't wait to see the second movie.
Another plus to this movie, besides the action, because the action was phenomenal in the moments that we actually got it, were the visuals that we saw. The Transformers looked good, and I know that's saying a lot, especially after coming from the past franchise where the Transformers look good in that.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it felt more like the cartoon in a lot of ways. It felt more like they were back to what I originally wanted when they first announced these films. I don't know, it was a magical essence with the Transformers. From seeing Optimus from the part we got him, to Bumblebee, to the other Transformer, rest in peace. We got to see, what we have been waiting on, fans of the Transformers franchise. No offense to Shia LaBeouf, because what you did in the first one was great. I think this one just had things done differently that were also good and unique.
Even with the great visuals that this movie did have, I think it lacked action sequences, right? I think I just expected, maybe that's what Michael Bay, because I'm getting caught up on my words. Maybe that's one thing Michael Bay did do well, right? Was, I guess, the action, right? Like, he had a lot more action. We didn't need the explosions, but just a lot more action. I wanted to see Bumblebee fight a little bit more. I want to see Bumblebee actually use his powers a little bit more, right? We only got to see that in spurts. And I would have liked to see it a lot more in an action movie. I just like action in an action movie. I don't see why that's such a bad thing. I don't know why people think that just because you watch an action movie, yes, it can have a great story, but the premise has to be action. You have to get what you paid for. And I didn't get what I paid for in this particular movie.
I think for me, when it comes down to it, the real question is this movie better than the first Transformers? Does Haley compare to Shia? And I think for me, it's easy to say no. I think the first one was just so awesome. Seeing the Transformers for the first time, Shia LaBeouf, great acting. It had a great story with the whole Sandwich Wiki and showing how everything was related. It was awesome. We got to see more of the Transformers, more of the Decepticons, Megatron, Optimus. It was great. And so if that movie for me was a 9 out of 10, this movie is a 7 out of 10. It just doesn't compare.
Now, this wasn't a terrible movie. I know I kind of sound like I was doing a lot of bashing. That was not my intentions. I just wanted to point out that I didn't think that this movie, the franchise, let's just talk about the franchise, because this movie is just a part of it. I don't think that this franchise should continue. I think they need to take a break, maybe 5 or 10 years, and go ahead and restart it all. With that being said, I will give this movie a 6.75. I think the movie is worth watching. It's not terrible. It just did not live up to what I would like to see a Transformers film be.
That completes the review for Bumblebee, and thank God it is over. Again, not a terrible movie, but it's the same old blockbuster hype. You've seen one car transform, you've seen them all. As always, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Tell us how you felt about the movie. Tell us if it's the best Transformers movie you've seen. Or tell us if you like that crap that they did when Optimus Prime carried a sword. As always, make sure you hit the notification bell to stay up to date with all of our reviewing content. Did I get you?
No.
No. And don't forget, you've seen it here.